All right, Jordan, take it away.
So yeah, it's not exactly in our thesis, I guess. But anyway, so come like last October, whenever all the keeners were getting their sending emails out, and I was like, oh, I need a thesis, because at the time I wasn't combining anything, and I was like, oh, I need something to do. So I emailed like a prof in the linguistics department. I'm doing a combined honors in linguistics now, but at the time I was just taking a couple linguistics courses. So I was like, well, it's something I'm interested in. So I emailed the prof. And we talked about some things. She was like, yeah, well, I could be able to, we could work something out, some sort of project. And that, I ended up getting that in around December. But then, in second term, I decided I wanted to actually combine in linguistics. So I didn't need my thesis anymore, or I didn't need a thesis anymore. So that thesis ended up turning into a USRA study that I did for the summer, which is always a viable option is to, especially if you start early, to like apply for some sort of USRA or independent study project for the summer, and then you can continue it if you want to continue it as a thesis sometimes.
Yeah. What is a USRA project?
It's for Undergraduate Student Research Award. So the forms are due in like March or something like that, and basically the government or / university pays you to do research, independent research in the summer. So it's basically like a summer job sort of, and just on your own time, and it depends on it depends what you're doing it in, first of all. Like, there might be a more rigid schedule for some. You might have to, like, report to a lab. Or if you're doing it on your own, it could be just sort of whenever you can do it, and you meet with your prof whenever. But so then I wasn't intending to do a thesis anymore. That was, like, last February or whatever. I was like, okay, I probably won't end up doing one because I don't really have room. But then one sort of like fell into my lap when like in one of my classes, the prof mentioned, oh, if you're looking for summer work, there's this possibility, and you have a good background in music, and I was like, go on. So I emailed him, and he referred me to this other prof, and it turned out I was really interested in the research he was doing that I had never actually considered at all, except it just sort of, I don't know, so sometimes it can just, the right thesis can just sort of like hit you in the face, I guess, but sometimes, like I went looking for one before and didn't end up coming up with one exactly, but then one just sort of like came to me, so it's kind of never too late to get your, well, not never, but preferably you'll get it done sooner than later, but like, yeah, it's sort of, yeah. Anyway, so I ended up doing that. I ended up working in the guy's lab for the summer, just sort of as a volunteer. And he's actually not in the linguistics department. He's in the psych department, but it's a linguistics based thesis / music. I don't know what you classify it as. So in the end, I probably would. I don't know if I would have been wiser to it, but I'm taking it as an art and science thesis. But I probably could have taken it as a linguistics thesis, but it's not a linguistics prof, so I don't know what the deal is.
The head of linguistics is a psychology prof.
There you go.
So
yeah.
It depends on the subject. I'm sure there could be crossover in that because, like, I know that the head of linguistics is a psychology.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's something I guess you could look into if that like sort of situation arose to you. But yeah, so I ended up, and so now I'm doing a thesis with this guy. Rather than the person that I was initially intending to do it. Yeah.
What is your thesis
on? I'm doing my thesis about the intonation of English, which is like when your voice goes up at the end of, like the change in pitch of your voice has different meanings in English. So what we're doing is we're using musical notation to notate speech and then analyzing it in that. Like based on intervals, ranges, things like that. Currently, the prevailing method is high and low pitch, H and L. So it doesn't have the same degree of detail as our method does. And we're also looking at a partially musical analysis of speech, so things that music and speech share in common. It's really interesting.
I think that's a pretty good example of how your thesis can be very specific and yet be lots of things that you like in one thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a perfect example of that. Like, I don't know, it just sort of happened. Like, wasn't looking for a music / linguistics thesis, but it happened.
Great success.
So, yeah. I don't know how to advise people to have that happen to you, but yeah.
Did you have the same prof who supervised your USRA
Is that your thesis?
No. Yeah, no, it's not. That's like the USRA person I went to and like emailed about like doing a project together, and then we ended up doing a project together. But this guy, I hadn't taken a course with him. Like I'm kind of doing a psych thesis. I haven't taken any use of psych ever at all, zero. So, but it's hard to.
So how did you get in contact with this man?
Because my prof mentioned that you could do summer work with this guy, and then so he gave me his email, and I got into contact with him through that. So like pay attention and follow through with things that are even spoken about in class, because that's like honestly if I hadn't gone to class that day I wouldn't have a thesis. That's true. Like it wouldn't have happened. Just the only way I could have.
Yeah, do you want to go up there and make a quick point? Just because it's helpful.
Good point. So you can do a psych thesis if you're not combining in psych. There are lots of art sites doing that right now. You can just go on the psych website and there's a list of all the psychology professors and just send them an email and be like, I'm an art and science student interested in working in a psych thesis. Like the website also tells you what the research is in, so you can look and see what kind of research you're interested in. If that, yeah, like Robin's doing a thesis in I think the instant perception lab, actually Jen Payne is as well, but she's combining psych. Anyway, they're working in the same lab, and one is doing a psych thesis and one is doing an art thesis. So
okay,
that
cool.
can happen.
Does anyone have any other questions for Jordan?